She was tied like livestock, left for the frost. He freed her, and with that, the whole town turned its eyes on them both. The scream came thin and raw. Cole Mercer froze with one boot in the stirrup and the other on dirt. Dawn pulled a pale ribbon over the far hills. He eased the Winchester down and walked toward the north fence. She was at the corner post, a girl tied to barbed wire, shawl torn, wrists purple. Cole let the rifle hang, opened both hands where she could see. "I'm comin' slow," he said. "Ain't fixin' to harm you." Her eyes flashed. "Don't touch me." "All right." He stopped 3 paces out. "Name's Cole Mercer. I'm set to cut that wire, but you say when." She swallowed, then gave the smallest nod. He drew a pocket knife and slid the blade under the strand near her skin. 1, 2, there. The first twist gave. He worked the next, leather glove between steel and flesh. Blood beaded where the barbs had bit. When her knees softened, he didn't scoop her up. He steadied an elbow and lowered her to the grass. He shrugged out of his coat and tucked it under her shoulders. From his shirt, he took a faded square of quilt and set it in her palm. "Ma used to say, 'Hold on to what's warm.'" She blinked at the cloth, then at him. "He left me here." "Who?" "My pa, Harlan Hart. Said I was paid out, like feed." Cole looked toward the road. No wagon, no tracks worth a dime. "Not while I'm breathin'." He tipped water from a canteen to her split lip. "Sip." Inside the tack room, the stove held last night's coals. He lit a small fire, set a kettle, laid bread on a tin plate. He kept the door open to light and choice. She sat on a milking stool, eyes on the Winchester, leaned far across the room. "Why'd you help me?" "Some things are straight." "You don't know me." "Don't need a name to cut a rope." She studied his face like a map she mistrusted. "I'm 18. "Old enough to choose." He slid the plate to her, then turned his back and busied his hands with harness straps. He listened. Bite, swallow. "What's your trade, Mr. Mercer?" "Cattle, when they cooperate. Iron, when they don't. I shoe for half the valley." "You?" "Keeping quiet, didn't pay." "It will today." He poured hot water into a cup and passed it over. "Sip slow." She cupped it with both hands. "He tied me here after dark. Said Kincaid would send for me at sunup." Cole's jaw set. Silas Kincaid owned too many notes and too many men. "You're safe for now." "For now ain't much." "It's what a day's built from." He nodded at the quilt square. "Keep that close." From outside came the steady clop of a rider easing by, the pause men make when they smell trouble. She stiffened. "They'll talk." "They always do." He moved the cup nearer heat. "Let 'em. We'll sort the rest after you've eaten." "I can work," she said. "I'm no freight." "Ain't nobody freight here." He stepped to the door, scanned the yard, and back. "You got a name to go with them eyes?" She hesitated. "Lena." "All right, Miss Lena, we'll see to hands and ankles. After that, we'll reckon the day." Her gaze went to the open doorway, to that pale slice of morning. She nodded once, tight, but real. "Yes, sir, sir." Cole leaned on the jamb. The light climbed the wall and found the quilt square bright as a little flag. Somewhere a meadowlark tried the first few notes of a tune, and let it be. Cole kept the door wide, the kettle whispering on iron. He rinsed the girl's wrists with warm water and lye soap, touch careful as china. The barbs had written ugly. He would not read it aloud. "We'll do it once, do it right." He wrapped linen from an old shirt and eased her ankles free of the last wire burn. She sat quiet, eyes tracking each move for the hitch that meant harm. The cabin held clean boards, one bed, a rocker. He put her by the stove. "Heat works like a mule, slow, but it'll pull." He sliced yesterday's loaf, set bone broth to roll gentle. "Eat plain first, fancy can wait." You live alone? She asked. Yes, No wife? Not now. She looked at the quilt square on her knee, thumb rubbing a faded star. That cloth, your mother's? Pieces of her hands. He set a tin bowl before her and turned his back to fuss with harness. Spoon rang once, then twice. He heard swallow, scrape of bread, a small sigh when heat got inside. If you were sellin' me kindness, she said, I got no coin. Good, price stays honest. You talk plain. Outside, wind ran a dry comb through the sage. He'll come, she said, Pa or the man he owes. I expect noise before sense. What if the sheriff backs them? Sheriff loves his coffee more than fights. He poured a thumbful of seed into her palm. Crocus, set them where you please when ground warms. No permission slips in dirt. Never planted a thing in my name. Start with these. She finished the bowl. He asked no questions he didn't need. You can take the bed, he said. I'll take the floor. Door stays open unless you say shut. You get to say. That new. Get used to it. A shadow slid across the threshold. A hand from the Kincaid spread, rode the road, let his horse drink, and called, without looking, Mornin', Mercer. Mr. Kincaid's got a contract on a girl named Hart. Sunup he'll be collectin'. He nudged on. The girl did not move. Only her eyes changed, gone flat as creek stones. Folks aim to scare, Cole said. They reckon fear works cheap. Does it? Only if you let the price be you. She drew a steady breath. My name's Lena. I heard. He tapped the quilt star. Lena Hart for now. What you are next is yours to pick. You for hire, Mr. Mercer, bodyguard? No, ma'am, neighbor. That hold a line? When it's honest. He looked toward town. We'll see May at the diner afternoon. She keeps a back room. Sheriff sits there most days. You trust her? May's coffee could raise a widow. He set a spare skirt on the bed. This and boots might fit. We'll keep your ankles wrapped. Lena touched the skirt, then the seeds. If I walk into town, she said, I don't want to look like freight. You won't. He nodded toward the door. She rose. At the threshold, she held up the quilt square. Mind if I keep this a spell? That's what it's for. They stepped onto the porch. The yard lay simple. Trough, woodpile. A hawk made one slow ring and slid toward bluer ground. Lena tucked the seed twist into her pocket and squared her shoulders. All right, she said. Let's go see what's true and what's loud. Yes, sir, Cole answered, then corrected. Yes, ma'am. They started toward the road, the door left open to air and options. They took the buckboard to town. Sun stood high, showing every nick in paint and people. May Hollis spotted them. Mercer, bring trouble or coffee money? Both. Her eyes touched the girl. You hungry, honey? Yes, ma'am, Lena said. May tipped her head toward the back hall. Wash pan, spare room, come on. Cole waited at the diner door, eyes gathered. Prue Ellison came with a Bible and a mouth. Mercer, you always had a nose for strays. How much by the pound? Cole blocked the doorway. Step along, Miss Prue. A decent man'd hand her to the law. A decent town'd let her eat. Deputy Eli Boone paused. Mornin', Cole. Inside, pans talked. May set a clean dress on a chair, brought hot water. Soap's cheap as sin, but works better. If you bleed, say so. Lena washed slow. In the cracked mirror, she saw yellow bruises and the quilt square like a small saved dawn. She pressed it once. May returned with eggs and grits. Eat. Doc Avery'll look at them wrists. Thank you, Lena said. Out front, Eli said low, Sheriff Calder won't want dust on his desk. Don't poke him. I'm buying nails and sugar, Cole said. The man's circlin', Eli muttered. Kincaid's boys. The square filled sudden. A rider swung down, unrolled a paper, and hollered from the courthouse steps. Indenture. By agreement with Harlan Hart, the person of Lena Hart is bound to the Kincaid Company for debt. Seal affixed at Willow Creek. People drifted from doors. Sheriff Calder came out with coffee, studying the air. Doc Avery pushed through with wire spectacles. "Let me see that paper." Kincaid's man hugged it. "You a judge?" "I'm a doctor who reads dates." He tapped the seal. "That clerk died last winter. I closed his eyes. This mark is a month too fresh." Silas Kincaid rolled up in a black buggy, gloves spotless. He stayed seated. "Mornin', folks," he said. "We're settling accounts." Cole faced him. "Settle cattle and land, not people." Kincaid's eyes slid to Lena as May guided her out, sleeves long. "Miss Hart, we've a place for you. Housework, 3 meals." Lena stopped on the steps. "I ain't freight." "Debt's a harness," Kincaid said. "You can pull light or heavy." "She'll eat here," May said. Calder cleared his throat. "Let's keep order." Doc raised the paper. "Order says this goes before Judge Halford, not a feed store Brandon." Kincaid turned the buggy. "Court likes paper. I keep a drawer full." He nodded to his rider. "Read it again tomorrow." He clucked the reins and rolled off. Dust rose and fell. Eli watched him go. "He ain't done." "Neither are we," Cole said. May touched Lena's elbow. "You done eatin', honey?" "Yes, ma'am." "Good. We'll get sleeves that don't bite. Doc'll wrap those wrists proper." Prue hovered. "She best be grateful." Lena met her. "I'll pay back what's mine, not what ain't." Prue left. Doc Avery said, "Bring that paper to Judge Halford. I'll swear the clerk was dead by then, and Ruthie can witness." "I'll stand there too," Eli said. May wiped her hands. "Eat pie and sleep. You'll need both." Cole counted out coins. "Sugar, nails, coffee." May slid a sack across. "And courage on the house." Outside, wind tugged the flags over Maine like it meant to test the stitching. Afternoon came clean and hard, the kind that shows every lie. Cole oiled the hinge on the north gate and set a new crossbar. The chain lay easy across the latch. Lena swept the porch. Hoofbeats cut the yard. 3 riders, dust to their knees. The middleman sat crooked with a bottle. "Harlan Hart," Cole said. Harlan grinned a broke-tooth grin. "Afternoon, Mercer. I'll be taking my girl. Man's got debts to clear." "She ain't a ledger," Cole said. "She's blood," Harlan said. Cole stepped to the gate and dropped the chain. He stayed on his side of the rails. "This line holds. You talk from there." One of the riders spat. "We can come fetch her." "You can talk," Cole said, "or you can make your own holes in the ground." Harlan squinted toward the porch. "Lena, girl, come on out. We're going to Mr. Kincaid's. Decent roof, 3 meals." Lena stood still, broom braced like a cane. "I ain't freight, Pa." Harlan tipped the bottle. "He dress you up in big words? You owe me breath." Cole kept his hands easy. "You left her tied to steel. That note's paid." The rider on Harlan's right eased his horse 2 steps. Cole didn't look at him. He looked at the hinge he had just oiled and at the oak post that had held through 15 winters. "Step through this gate, Harlan, and I'll put you in the earth under that cottonwood. Don't make me dig in heat." A sparrow clicked once and quit. Harlan's face went slack, then mean. "You think I won't test you?" "I think you're drunk and slow," Cole said. "And I think your friends know a straight barrel when they see one." He hadn't drawn. The Winchester leaned on the porch rail. The right-hand rider tugged his reins. "Harlan, let's go." The left-hand rider looked at Lena, then at his hands. "Ain't worth a bullet, boss." Harlan's jaw worked without a sound. He drank and spat. "This ain't done," he muttered. "Kincaid'll set it straight. Paper beats talk." "Bring your paper," Cole said. "Bring a judge." Till then, stay off my ground. Harlan backed his horse. The three turned and rode slow along the fence line. When their dust thinned, Cole let the chain fall and walked to the corner post. A scrap of oilcloth was wedged under the brace. He pried it free. Kincaid Company letterhead. Notice of collection. Person of Lena Hart to be delivered at sunup tomorrow to the Willow Creek office. Failure to comply will incur costs and penalties. He folded it. Lena watched his face. "It say what I think?" she asked. "It says men who hide behind ink don't like gates," he said. He slipped the paper into his shirt. "We'll need eyes and a plan." "I can shoot a little," she said. "You can choose," he said. "That's better." "What do you need?" "Quiet hands, clear mind, and a kettle going." "That I can do." They fed the horses and pulled wood close to the stove. Cole checked the cinch and the well rope. He moved like Sunday, steady, no waste. At dark he hung a lantern by the porch, then pinched it out. The yard went simple and close. "Door stays open?" Lena asked from the rocker. "Till you say shut," Cole said. She looked at the black square of night, then at him. "Shut it," she said, "just tonight." He set the bar. "All right." They sat quiet and let the silence do its work. Rain set in after sundown, straight and steady, drumming till the roof answered back. The world drew small around the stove's glow. Cole checked the bar and set a kettle close. "You sleep. I'll sit a while." Lena shook her head. "Storm won't let me." He sat with his back to the wall. She took the rocker, boots off, the quilt square folded in her palm. Cole opened his damp shirt. Old welts ran his back. He didn't explain. The light did. "Army?" she asked. "Fort Carpenter at 19. Sergeant liked order more than sense." He rolled a shoulder. "I learned how long a minute can be." Lena watched the Coles. "I was 15 when a game went bad. Pa set me on a chair like a parcel. Buyer changed his mind. Too scrawny, he said. Pa beat me for losing him money. Called me a curse that wouldn't wash." Cole fed the fire a sliver of wood. He was wrong. He's loud. Wrong stays wrong even when it shouts. She touched the quilt star. "Why give me this?" Ma pieced it from worn dresses. She said a stitch is a promise that holds. "That what you're doing, promising?" "I'm setting a line. Promise comes after a line holds." The rain kept time like a slow drum. "How long will Kincaid try?" she asked. "Till he meets cost. Men like him count by profit. We'll make his math ugly. Court, Doc carries paper, Eli too. Mail keep folks from boiling. And me? You choose. I want to stand up, not be carried. Then don't let a lie name you. That's simple. Simple ain't easy." She breathed through her teeth. "On that fence I thought I was set aside." "God don't hire out his work," Cole said. "People do, the wrong kind." A quick smile tugged. "You talk like a preacher who forgot the book and kept the truth." "Reverend Pike would skin me." Cole fetched a twist of paper from the cupboard and set it by her hand. "More seed. If the first don't take. You already gave me enough. Some things bear planting twice." She tucked it away. "I ain't thanking you for every breath." "Good. Breathing's your business." Cole closed his eyes and let his ears do the watching. Past the rain he caught a different sound. Wet leather held quiet. Then a whisper of grit on the sill. He rose without noise, took the Winchester and blew the lamp out. Dark folded the room. The fire kept a thin seam. "What is it?" Lena said. "Someone out there marking," he whispered. They heard it, a soft clink at the barn corner like a nail tapped once to sight a line. A match hissed, then died. The sting of pitch drifted under the door. "Kincaid's boys," she breathed, "or fools who rent their shadows. What do we do? Wait 'em out, rain's against 'em." The clinks moved along the wall and quit. Hoofbeats sloshed away. Cole lit the lamp low, eased the bar, and opened the door 2 inches. The yard blurred with water. Under the eaves, 3 small chalk crosses ghosted where the frame ran dry. "Marks," he said, "for later." "Fire or fear? Either way, we answer in daylight." He shut the door and dropped the bar. "Sleep now." "I can try." He sat the watch. Lena curled on the rocker, the quilt square at her throat and the seed twist snug in her pocket. Rain did what rain does. It washed, it warned, it waited. At sun. Morning cleared like a blade. Cole checked the well rope and rubbed grit from the Winchester's rear sight. Chalk crosses on the barn door stayed pale as bad intentions. Hoofbeats rolled off the ridge. 5 riders in oilskins, a black buggy behind. Silas Kincaid sat easy, banker cool. Cole stepped to the gate and set the chain. "Mornin', Mr. Mercer," Kincaid said. "You're holding property pledged to my company." "Speak plain." "The girl, Lena Hart. Indenture at Willow Creek. Sheriff Calder will see delivery." Calder trailed up with coffee. Eli Boone rode beside, jaw tight. Doc Avery trotted in. "You filed that with a dead clerk's seal, Silas." Kincaid brushed a sleeve. "Court can sift it. I'll collect collateral meanwhile." "This is a ranch," Cole said, "not a stockyard for people." Kincaid tapped the buggy. 2 men peeled off, rode the fence, and sawed the line to the north trough. Water ran into dust. Lena stepped to the porch with a broken-open shotgun. "Leave the trough." "Ma'am," Kincaid said, without looking. "Housework and 3 meals." "Not freight." "Debt says otherwise." Eli murmured to Calder, "Seal's wrong." "Court'll sort it," Calder said. A wagon rolled in, right wheel tarred and tight. One of Kincaid's men started for the steps. "You put a boot on that step," Cole said, "and the step bites." He kept coming. Lena snapped the gun shut and fired low. The right wheel burst into a wooden flower. The man froze. No one bled. The yard went still. Kincaid finally looked at her. "You aim pretty for a guest." "I ain't a guest. I live where I stand." Nate 2 Moons slid from the cottonwoods on a paint pony. "Your boys chalked this place last night," he told Kincaid. "Coyotes walk. Loud feet, short breath." Kincaid's mouth ticked. "And you are?" "Reader of ground." Doc lifted the paper. "Judge Halford sits day after tomorrow. I'll swear that seal's a month younger than the man who wore it. Ruthie Lane will witness." Kincaid weighed fence, faces, and the wrecked wheel. He raised a hand. His riders turned by the cottonwoods. "This is delay," he said. "See you in court, cowboy." "Bring soap," Cole said. "Your paper needs it." The buggy rolled off. Cole and Eli retied the cut line. Nate touched a chalk X by the barn. They meant fire after wind shifts. "I figured," Cole said. Calder dabbed his fingers in the trough. "Don't like being in the middle." "Pick a side," Eli said. Calder looked at Lena. "You show at court?" "I aim to." "Good," Doc said. "We gather at May's before dawn and ride together." Nate pointed at the ridge. "They'll try the creek road. Watch wire at wheel height." "We leave early," Cole said. "Eli." "Yes, sir." Lena watched the thin thread of smoke from the barrel. "I didn't miss." "You chose where to hit," Cole said. She nodded. "I'll be ready." "Eat, then pack," he said. "Water, cartridges, papers. Leave the door open till we go." He reset the chain. The yard held quiet again, the kind that works. A single cloud moved over and let the sun finish its job. Calder set the cup on the rail. "I'll keep ground till Halford speaks," he muttered. "Do that," Cole said. He handed Lena a canvas satchel. "Bandage, matches, 2 turns of rope, keep 'em close." They worked quiet after the riders left. The wagon sat canted, spokes blown. One of Kincaid's men took a shard in the calf when the wheel blew. Now he lay teeth-gritted on the porch while Cole boiled cloth and Lena rinsed the cut. "Hold still," she said. "Didn't think you'd tend me," he muttered. Eli kept lookout at the gate. Doc Avery tied a square knot. "You'll hobble a week. Tell your boss court sits day after tomorrow. He can bring paper. I'll bring dates and a witness who knows the grave by name." The man studied Lena. "You shot that wheel clean." "I aim to miss men." They set the wounded on Calder's horse. Eli led him toward town. Calder said, "You sure, Doc? Kincaid owns half the benches." "Court still sleeps under law," Doc said. "We'll knock till it wakes." Reverend Pike came from the cottonwoods. "Heard there was trouble. Thought I'd tend what a doctor can't." His eyes found the chalk on the barn and the set of Lena's shoulders. "You done right," he said. "Doing right ain't a trade." "Don't pay the bill," Cole said. "Sometimes it keeps you human enough to ask for help. Mind a short prayer?" Lena looked at Cole. He nodded. Pike prayed plain. "Lord, count these as yours, not as any man's debt. Amen." He set a small book on the table. "Judge Halford will want oath. Swear on this or on your word." May Hollis sent a boy with a covered pan and a note. "Hot stew, spare dress. 2 men willing to ride at dawn." Lena ate 3 careful bites. "If the paper's bad, why ain't it dead?" "Fear makes its own ink," Pike said. Doc pulled a folded page. "I wrote Mr. Halford with the clerk's death date and Ruthie Lane's statement. I'll swear it. We meet at May's before sunup." Cole made a list. Water, cartridges, rope, blanket roll, Doc's paper, the seed twist. "We bring what we use." Lena tapped it. "Take the quilt square?" "You carry it," Cole said. "It carries you back." Evening came clean. Light lay flat as hammered tin. Pike rose. "I'll circle town, keep talk from turning poison." "Careful," Cole said. "I walk with a long hand," Pike said. Eli returned at dusk. "Drop the man at Doc's. Kincaid's riders are at the livery jawing loud. They know the creek road. They'll try to snip cinches or lay wire in the ruts." Cole trimmed loose ends on his saddle. "We'll take the high trail." "Sheriff?" Lena asked. "Calder says he'll keep ground, if it's easy." Night edged in. Cole set a lantern low, barred the door, and took first watch. Lena rolled a blanket on the floor and stared at the rafters. "You sleep when I tap," he said. "We trade every 2 hours. All right? Scared?" "Yes," she said, and set. The preacher dozed in the rocker, one palm on the book. Wind touched the eaves and moved on. The cottonwoods clicked once and went quiet. Near midnight a horse snorted far off, then nothing. Cole counted breath. He tapped Lena's boot at 2 bells. She rose, took his place, and kept the Winchester across her knees like a truth you didn't have to shout. Cole slept on the floor. He dreamed of 19, a line some other man had drawn, and waking to find this one belonged to him. Dawn would come early. They'd ride into it together. Court or no court, they'd keep the line. Be ready. They worked like folks with dusk at their back. Cole reset the north latch and stacked wood inside the line. Lena boiled bandages and tied them neat. May Hollis sent Toby with stew, biscuits, and a note. "Town's loud. I'll keep it busy. Y'all eat." Toby stood hat in hand. "Miss says keep the pan." "I'll wash it anyway," Lena said. "Miss says keep means keep." He loped off. By noon, a wagon dropped seed and rope. Ruthie Lane arrived with a hammer. Steps looked punk. "2 tread soft," Cole said. "Stand aside." Her blows were straight. "That Willow Creek clerk? I washed him for burial. I'll swear it." "You'd do that?" Lena asked. "Truth likes company," Ruthie said. Doc Avery came late, papers under his coat. "Affidavit from Ruthie, sworn by Pike. Letter to Judge Halford with dates. We ride before dawn, high trail." Eli Boone slid in behind. Kincaid's boys strung wire across the bend by the cottonwoods. I cut it, they'll try again. We move in pairs, Cole said. If split, meet at the ridge tank. The sheriff? Lena asked. Calder says he'll be at May's with a badge and a cup, Eli said. They ate on the steps. Biscuits steamed. Stu set coal planed slats for a porch swing, drilled 2 clean holes, sanded till the wood quit arguing. Seats for anyone who's tired. Even me? Lena asked. Reckon you earned a sit. They hung it on chain and lag bolts. Lena tried it, slow. The swing creaked once, then settled into its own small river. Evening smelled of coffee and cut pine. Toby came back at sundown with nails. Miss May says I ride early and carry word. He eyed the swing. That for readin'? That for breathin', Cole said. Reverend Pike walked up with the book. Judge will want oath. We'll do it on the steps if need be. May says gather by 4. Lena took a twist of crocus seed. There's light enough yet. They pressed a thin row by the porch stones. I never had a place to put something and return to it, she said. Now you do, Cole said. Ruthie carried the last board. You look different than this morning. Clean does that, May said from the gate, apron flowered. I'll feed whoever rides, 2 cans of coffee and a skillet for eggs. Bring your straightbacks. She turned Lena's palms. These'll heal, don't hide them. A rider slowed at the road, saw the yard full, touched his hat, moved on. Doc checked the packet again. If I fall, pick this up first. You won't, Lena said. Wind says otherwise. He smiled. Night edged in. Cole doused the lamp. In the dark the swing ticked, steady as a heart under a quilt. Sky ran a hard blue over the basin and let one bright star hold the roof up. Sleep in clothes, Cole said. Roll light, we ride on my knock. Yes, sir, Lena said. Y'all be ready, May added. Trouble favors first light. Eli set the watch and scratched a map with a nail on the table. Ridge, tank, cutoffs. Cole set 2 cartridges by Lena's cup and a coil of rope by the door. Use what you need, he said. Leave fear behind. I'll try, she answered. They bedded down without speeches. Somewhere a horse blew and settled. The packet lay on the table, tied with twine, heavy as a promise no one else could make. Before dawn they would carry it where it had to go. They rolled before first light, 4 souls and a packet tied in twine. Eli rode point. Cole drove. Lena kept the shotgun and the quilt square. Under the flower tarp a rise breathed. Toby came. They took the high trail above the creek. The sky was pewter and close. Watch wheel height, Eli said. Wire. First strand showed at the cottonwoods. Eli cut it and hung it on a stump like a dead snake. Farther on the rock pinched, dust bitter. 3 riders slid out, mounts across the cut. One swung chain, one held a carbine half levered. Cole set the brake. Smoke, he said. Lena shoved a twist of sage under the hub and lit it. Gray lift. Cole snapped the brake off and hollered once. The team lunged. The chain missed. The carbine cracked. Doc grunted. Blood striped his sleeve. Grazed, he said. Eli rammed a rider over the horn. Wire flashed at axle height. The left wheel bit and threw. The packet slid and fell. Lena grabbed and missed. A small hand, Toby, snatched the bundle, rolled beneath the wagon, and shoved it through the spokes. Lena stuffed it under her coat. Cole stood the brake. The wire gave. The wheel spun ugly but true. He put the team back to climbing more. The near rider tried to cut in. Lena breathed once and fired low. His stirrup blew free. He hit dirt. Nate 2 Moons ghosted from the junipers, slapped a led horse sideways with a quirt, and jerked his chin toward the ridge. Creek roads dirty, high trails honest. Doc's blood ran but shallow. Lena tore a strip from her hem and tied it down. Hold, she said. I am, he said. It's only loud. They made White Sulphur Springs by noon. Courthouse, on a low hill, flag lifting. A young clerk met them at the door. Judge Halford, Doc asked, at the Castle Mine. the clerk said. Cave in. He won't sit today. Kincaid, Eli said. He filed at sunup. The clerk glanced toward two men across the street. He wants a writ. Doc unknotted the twine with his clean hand and set pages on the counter. Affidavit from Ruthie Lane, death certificate for the clerk who sealed that indenture a month after his funeral. Stamp and file. The boy stamped with care that hoped to be brave. Kincaid's men drifted nearer. One tipped his hat at Lena, smile mean. She looked through him. We'll need a roof, Eli said. Feed store loft, Doc said. May's sister keeps it clean. Cole paid for certified copies. If one packet falls, another stands. The boy slid the papers back, fingers unsteady. Judge will hear it first thing. Post it, Cole said. They crossed the street. Nate vanished the way tracks do when rain starts. On the stair, Lena pressed the quilt square to her mouth, then climbed steady. Eli watched Allie's. Cole carried Law under his arm. The loft held 2 beds and boards that didn't gossip. Doc sat down slow, breath hissing as the sleeve pulled. You're white, Lena said. Paint's temporary. He nodded at the packet. That's the color that matters. Eli checked the window. They'll try the stairs after dark. Cole set the copies under a tin at the washstand and thumbed back the Winchester's hammer. Then we'll try the truth after dawn. Outside, heat lay flat on Maine. One cotton cloud held its shape and didn't brag about it. They slept in turns. Toward gray, boots creaked on the stairs, and a voice tried polite. Open up. Sheriff's business? Eli peered a knothole. Not him. 2 of Kincaid's riders held a paper like a badge. Cole cracked the door. State it. Writ of delivery, the left one said. Girl goes with us till judge returns. Boy, Doc said from the bed, men don't serve their own paper. Eli set a boot under the door and let silence shove. They drifted. By 8, Maine filled with faces. A freight wagon pulled up. May Hollis climbed down with Reverend Pike and Ruthie Lane. Brought pie and backbone, May said. Pike raised his Bible. Judge gone or not, truth can be sworn. On the steps, they swore. Cole raised a hand. Lena did too. Doc swore to the date of the Willow Creek clerk's death. Ruthie gave the graves place and day. Kincaid rolled up in his buggy, gloves clean. He went past the steps into the clerk's room. File this writ, he said. If indemnity is required, my office will post bond. The boy clerk looked at the stack Doc had already stamped. Sweat salted his lip. Sir, there's a challenge on the seal. Challenge it later, Kincaid said warmly. Deliver the body now. Name's Lena, she said from the doorway. Miss Hart, Kincaid said without turning. You'll be treated fair. Fair don't need chains, Cole said. Sheriff Calder hurried up, hat mashed. Let's keep order. Judge Halford's riding in. One rider tried the hall again, paper high. Eli filled the frame. Serving or showing off? Serving. Then read it, all of it. He stumbled through. The seal shone newer than the ink. Done? Eli said. Now hear this. Death papers, affidavits, motion to stay. You lay a hand on her, you answer to that bench. Ruthie cut in. Clerk died December 12th at 4 a.m. I washed him. His wife shook till stove heat died. Kincaid came back to the doorway, smile tight. Folks, I'm running a business. Sell oats, then, May said. Dust puffed under a fresh rig. Judge Halford swung down, coat grimed with mine dust. He took Doc's stack, compared seals, and looked at Kincaid. You tried to cash a dead man's pen. My counsel, your nerve, the judge said. He signed twice. Stay granted. Indenture void unless proved inside 10 days. Sheriff, enforce the peace and nothing else. Calder nodded at his boots. Yes, sir. Kincaid tipped his hat at nothing. We'll be back. I expect so, the judge said. Bring law next time, not muscle dressed as paper. The buggy rolled. People breathed like the weather had blinked. Pike shut the Bible. You're free to go where you choose, Lena. Breakfast, May said, and chairs. They ate under the feed store awning. Doc let his sleeve breathe. Eli watched the alley. Cole counted the stamped copies and slid one under his shirt. Lena kept a finger on the quilt square, steady as a fence post set deep. What now? She asked. Home, Cole said. We plant what's ours and draw the lines so even fools can see them. Words help, Pike said. Deeds seal. Ruthie pulled her hat tight. Ride while light's good. A breeze nudged the flag once. No show in it, just duty. They hitched the team and started for Sagebrush Bend. Law tucked close as bread against a rib. Right. Word spread quick. 4 o'clock by the river, Reverend Pike said. No hymnals, just names. Folks came quiet. Cole brought the church ledger. Lena walked beside him, sleeves down, quilt square in her pocket. They stopped under the cottonwood that had seen work and farewell. Pike faced the town, Bible tucked. Judge Halford granted a stay, he said. The rest is ours. A person ain't paper. May poured coffee. Ruthie stood close. Calder hovered. Eli leaned. Doc folded papers. Pike spoke plain. Lena Hart was bound by a lie. What name do you claim? Lena looked once at Cole, then at the ledger. Lena Grace, no more, no less. Who witnesses? Me, May said. And me, Ruthie said. Put me on there, Eli said. Doc cleared his throat. A physician for the eyes. Calder stared at his boots. Sheriff, too. Signatures went down steady. Cole signed last. Cole Mercer, neighbor. Pike set his palm on the page and on Lena's shoulder. Go in that name, he said. Grace is earned daily, same as bread. Cole handed her a nail ring polished from a horseshoe shank. Not a wedding, he said, just something to keep. I will, she said. They walked home with the ledger wrapped. May rattled pans. Ruthie checked the steps. Eli watched the ridge. Doc pocketed the copies. Paper holds 10 days, Doc said. Kincaid will look for cracks. Let him, Cole said. We'll mend. Lena touched the swing chain. Grace, she tried. Toby watered the crocus mounds. Pike lingered by the gate. I'll mark your new name in the church book, he said. Not law, just memory. Memory holds longer, May said. People left a jam jar, a roll of ticking, a coil of rope. No one said sorry. Lena set the ring on a thong at her throat beside the quilt square. Enough weight, she said. Not heavy. Good weight rides close, Cole said. A rider brought a wire. Doc read it. Halford will sit again if pressed. Keep a copy of the stay on you, Lena. Yes, sir. Pike started off, then paused. North Forks are mean. Beaver Dam went out near Castle Creek. Might be nothing. Might be hurry. Eli's head came up. That run will slap the bend if it stacks. How long? Cole asked. Before dark if wind turns, Pike said. Ruthie tugged gloves. I'll push my flock uphill. May pointed at Toby. Run the message. High ground now. Tell folks, no debate. Cole rose. We'll sandbag the low side and lay planks for a crossing. Eli, check culverts. Doc, sit, then come steady. Lena tied her hair. Where do you want me? Cellar first, Cole said. Lift what drowns easy, then lanterns along the fence and rope for stock. Wrap the swing chains. Yes, sir. Use the ledger as weight on the table, May said. Some books ought not float. Calder hesitated. If it comes hard, the jail sits high. Doors'll be open. Good, Eli said. For once. Cole set lanterns on the sill and checked the rope knots twice, the way men do when they intend to keep trouble outside right. They moved like a crew that knew each step. Buckets thumped, boards slid, a shovel bit. The cottonwood leaves made a dry applause and held on. Lena paused at the threshold, looked at the ledger open to a new line, then went below with rope in her hand and a name that fit. Wind came up mean toward dusk. By night the river ran brown and fast, talking in a voice older than fences. They worked by lantern. Cole set sawhorses and laid planks from wagon to wagon, a shaky spine across the swale. Eli ran a rope handrail. May and Ruthie filled burlap with dirt and stacked it too high. "Stock first," Cole said. "Then folks." Lena tied a kerchief tight, tucked the quilt square, and took the lead rope of the first gelding. "Easy, Buck. Step and settle." She carried the lantern low. Toby walked behind with a willow switch. Water licked the boards. The gelding shivered, tested, then went. 2 mares followed. The bridge bowed and held. Sheriff Calder came splashing from town with a coil over his shoulder. Culverts choked, north alleys a trough. "Stay high," Eli said. "Hold that rail." A scream cut through rain. Prue Ellison's girl stood on a porch rail at the low-end rental, water to her thighs. "Rope," Lena said. Calder lunged first, lost footing, and went down. The current took him sideways, hat gone. Eli dove from the bank, grabbed Calder's collar, and kicked off the mud wall. "Breathe, Sheriff." Cole threw a line clean. Eli caught it. They hauled both in like wet calves. Lena tied the rope around her waist, hitched the free end to the porch post, and stepped off the far side of the plank run. "Hey, sweet pea," she called to the girl. "You're coming to me, hand over hand." "I can't," the child sobbed. "You can. One hand, then the other." The girl slid, grabbed, slid. Lena dropped to knees, caught the small wrist, and shoved the lantern to Cole. "Take it." Cole held the light. Ruthie reached with a rake handle. "Hook your elbow, honey." The girl hooked, kicked, and came up coughing. Lena lifted her to Ruthie's arms. "There, you did it." Prue stood off, face white. May wrapped the child and squeezed her hand once. "Back across," Cole said, "one at a time." A steer balked, then rocked forward when Lena breathed low in his ear. "Walk on." The water peaked, tore at the lower fence, and dropped by the width of a glove. The night let go of its teeth. They checked heads, horses, cattle, folks. Calder sat on a crate, lungs raw. "Oh, you," he rasped. "Pay it by Holden law," Eli said. They found what the flood had half hidden, 3 damp matchsticks near the hay barn, the sour reek of kerosene in the mud, and a black kiss on siding where flame had tried and rain had said no. Cole knelt by a print in the softened earth. The heel showed a chip he'd know anywhere. Harlan Hart walked crooked, one nail proud in his right boot. Lena looked at the mark, and then at the barn. "He came to finish me." "Or scare big," Cole said. "I'm done being freight," she said. "Good," Cole answered. "Tomorrow we reckon with men, not weather." They stacked planks to dry and hung lanterns high. The swing chains rattled once. Lena set the child on the swing and tucked the quilt square into her small hand for a breath. "Keep this minute, then give it back." The girl nodded, brave now that water turned honest and went where rivers go. Toward first light the clouds broke into ragged sheep and drifted. The yard smelled of wet wood and clean iron. What lived still stood. So, morning came clean, the yard streaked with flood mud. Cole checked the barn door, set sand by the sill. Eli rode in. Prince read east, Harlan's boot. "Figures," Cole said. Lena tightened the swing chains, then wiped her palms. "I'm done running from a drunk." "You're not running," Cole said. "You're standing." Calder followed. "If he shows, I take him," he said. They didn't wait long. Harlan came at noon with a bottle and a matchbook. He stopped 10 paces out. "Girl," he called, "you come here. Det's callin'." Lena stepped to the gate. "I ain't Det." "Kincaid says you are," Harlan said. "Kincaid's paper drowned," Cole said. "Judge saw to that." Harlan jerked the matchbook. "Then I'll smoke the shame out." He struck one. Wind killed it. He struck another. It held. "Don't," Lena said. You light that, you burn your last bridge. He pitched the flame toward the wall. Cole moved first, heel stamping the spark into mud. Eli took Harlan's wrist. The bottle fell and broke. Enough, Eli said. Harlan swung. Calder stepped in, cuffs ready. Harlan Hart, arson and assault, he said. Hands. Harlan sagged, then bucked once. Lena stood inside the gate, steady. Pa, she said, quiet as a prayer that knows the answer. I'm not freight and I'm not your story. I choose my own. He emptied out, spat, and let Eli turn him. Calder read the charge and walked him to the road. Doc came with a wire. Judge Halford signed final, indenture void, forgery under review, Kincaid's due in Helena on charges. He glanced toward town. His buggy left at dawn. Cole lit the forge. He hammered a horseshoe nail bright, drew it down, turned a neat circle, and filed the cut. When it cooled, he rubbed a drop of oil. He walked back to the cottonwood. Pike waited with the ledger. If it's time, the preacher said, speak plain. It's time, Cole answered. Neighbors gathered without fuss. The river muttered beyond the willows and minded its business. May brought a pie. Ruthie, a ribbon. Toby brushed his hair flat. Cole faced Lena. No one's giving you to me, he said. You walked here on your own 2 feet. I aim to stand beside you and keep the line. Lena's mouth trembled once, then steadied. I ain't a rescue, she said. I'm a choice. I choose you. Pike nodded. That'll do. He opened the book. Names. Cole slipped the nail ring on her finger. It shone like something honest. Lena took the thong from her neck where the ring had hung beside the quilt square and let the square fall back to her pocket. Fitz, she said. Pike spoke the words that mattered. By your say-so and before these witnesses, you are bound. He shut the ledger. Go on. They didn't kiss for show. They held hands. Folks clapped the way hands clap when work's well done. Eli grinned. Supper on May, he said. Like hell, May said. Pie, sure. Calder stood off a pace, hat in hand. Law'll hold, he said. At dusk, Cole burned a paper found under a stall, a Kincaid tally, names and sums. Ash went thin. Down the road, a black buggy took the long bend like a man who knew he didn't own tomorrow anymore. They sat the porch after 2 cups and a lantern between. The swing ticked its easy tick. Home felt earned, plain and good. Yes, they kept the swing oiled and the gate true. After flood and fire, quiet had a sound again. Coffee on the stove, a broom on plank, the click of a nail set home. Cole lettered a sign over the shed. Mercer Ranch and Forge. Iron paid steady, calves fattened easy. He worked with temper earned, heat, air, water. The hammer told a truth you couldn't argue down. Lena set a table by the window and pinned a notice at May's. Evening school, reading, writing, figures. Bring a slate if you've got it. If not, bring hands. Folks came. Ranch wives, a miner missing 2 fingers, Prue Ellison's girl with a ribbon she worried. On the board she wrote, a name is yours to keep. Toby fetched water, set slates, learned letters between chores. Cole showed him how iron moves when you ask it right. Don't rush the color, he said. Let it come to you. The boy nodded. Reverend Pike stopped Sundays with a loaf and a verse left short. Grace still fits, he'd ask. It fits, Lena said. Yes. Doc Avery healed slow and crabby. I quit bleeding, he told anyone, so I'm back to reading. He filed a statement for Helena and kept a copy in his vest. Paper walks faster than a bad story when you stamp it right. Eli Boone wore the badge better. Sheriff Calder learned to say no where it counted, and yes where it mended. The jail stayed bored. Wire said Silas Kincaid answered to a federal man in Helena. Fraud, the clerk typed. His buggy was seen once, northbound, Brim. Nate 2 moons drifted back when Chokecherry went dark. "Tracks look clean," he said. "Your fence reads easy." He set a feather on a post and rode on. They planted crocus by the porch stones where day heat holds. First year gave thin bloom, shy and violet. The second came thicker, as if roots had decided this was no stop but a place. An old wind kept a seat at town's edge, gossip trying to remember its teeth. Lena answered by showing up where work was. Bake sale, branding day, a funeral where the husband cried into the hat he couldn't hold. She kept her sleeve rolled enough to teach, and long enough to choose who got her scars and who earned her jokes. Evening found them with coffee gone cool and the ledger open. The page where Pike had written Lena Grace lay flat and sure. Cole ran a thumb along the edge like it was a rail he'd planned true. "You think peace holds?" she asked. "It does when folks work it," he said. "Peace is fence and gate. Keep it straight and fix it when it sags." "I can mend." They walked the line after supper. Coyotes tuned on the far ridge. Stars came on without hurry. The sky felt wide enough for a tired world to breathe. On the bench lay a ring, blank, half-filed, join not yet closed. Cole weighed it and set it down. "Tomorrow," he said. "Tomorrow," she answered. Inside, the lamp lit the quilt square and nail ring hung by a peg. She took the square and smoothed it. "Pieces make a whole," she said. "Always did," he said. They left the door unlatched for air. The swing ticked easy. The seed rows held their dark, patient line. Past the cottonwood the river moved like a man with work enough and daylight to do it. Dust settles, hearts don't. They'd keep riding together the rest of the way out and back. No paper needed to say what both already knew. The prairie has a way of reminding folks that scars don't vanish, but they can fade when you keep walking forward. Cole and Emma's story isn't just about bullets or barns rebuilt. It's about choosing to stand steady when the world wants you broken. If this tale stirred something in you, I'd be glad to hear it. Share a thought down below. Not for noise, but because stories live longer when folks carry them together. Ride easy, partner. The trail goes on.